So my mom and stepdad had a pretty nasty breakup. I honestly could tell it wasn't going to last because he was just a weird guy in my opinion. When they split up, he moved out, but not without things getting ugly between them. They would scream at each other, and there were a few times I thought I would need to call the police. I never really got along with my stepdad, and honestly, I was glad he was gone and out of me and my mom's life. She doesn't pick the best men, that's for sure. About a week after they split up, I was home alone and my mom was working. She's a nurse and usually works the night shifts. I was playing my Nintendo Switch in the living room when I got a text from my mom. She sounded panicked as she was texting in all caps, telling me to lock all the doors and windows because my stepdad had been acting crazy. I honestly thought she was exaggerating, but I locked everything up anyway, just in case. Around 10 p.m. I heard a noise from the backyard. It was like the faintest creaking sound. I tried to dismiss it, but my gut told me something was off. I grabbed a baseball bat from the closet and tiptoed to the kitchen. It was dark in my backyard, and I flicked on the outside lights. When they turned on, I saw him, my stepdad, standing in the backyard, staring right at me through the glass door. He had this desperate, wild look in his eyes. He was muttering something I couldn't quite make out. I froze, clutching the bat, unsure of what to do. The next moment, he started pounding on the glass, shouting my name, saying he needed to talk, that he was sorry for everything. It was scary how manic his tone was. I yelled at him to leave now and that he had no right to be here. But instead of leaving, he went around the house, trying to find a way in. I ran and hid in the hallway closet and called the police. As I was on the phone with them, I heard the sound of breaking glass. He'd smashed a window and I could hear him crawling through it. I sat still in the closet and waited and prayed for the police. I could hear him wandering through the house, calling my name over and over, apologizing and saying he just wanted to talk. That's when I heard shouting. They were yelling at my stepdad to lay on the ground. It was the police. They arrested him and took him away. I saw him crying in handcuffs and telling the officers he's sick and not right in the head. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't locked up and called the cops when I did. I'm okay, but do have some trauma issues. The whole experience was just a reminder that real life can be scarier than any horror movie. Stay safe, everyone. This story happened a month ago, and I still can't wrap my head around it. Just a little background. I'm a 20-year-old female, and my stepdad, Mark, is in his early 40s. We're not exactly close, but we coexist peacefully. Mark and my mom have been together for the past year and a half. He works a normal job, likes to golf, and doesn't try to overstep his boundaries when it comes to parenting. I hadn't had the best luck recently when it comes to dating. It seems like every guy I meet is immature or just looking to hook up. That's when I decided to try Tinder for the first time and see if I could find someone on there. I swiped through dozens of profiles and matched with a few people. Nothing looked promising until I matched with a guy named Leo. He was 23, dressed well, not pushy and handsome. We really hit it off, and Leo ended up asking me out on a date. We were supposed to meet on a Friday at this restaurant called La Casa. I got there a bit early and sat at the bar and ordered a Coke. I was nervous and hoping this date would go well. It was about 10 minutes after the time we agreed on meeting, and Leo still wasn't there. We'd exchanged numbers, and I texted him telling him I'm here and at the bar when he comes in. Fast forward another 10 minutes, and he hasn't responded. I was starting to think I was stood up or something happened to him when I looked up. Walking into the restaurant, dressed in a full-on suit, was my stepdad, Mark. He saw me at the bar and walked over to me. I was embarrassed to see him because my date was most likely standing me up when Mark took a seat next to me. I was about to ask him what he's doing here and where was my mom when he held his hand up to silence me. He held out his phone. Tinder was pulled up and so were my chat conversations with Leo. He said there is no Leo. It was really him the whole time. Confused, I asked him what he meant. Mark said he uses Tinder and fake pictures to meet other women. He had no idea he would match with me, but if the situation wasn't already weird enough, he said something that chilled me. He said he's always been attracted to me and that I need to look past the catfish and maybe we can try being with one another and see how it goes. I was speechless before I finally said, "You're with my mom, Mark. No, I don't want to be with you, and I'm telling her about this." I left the restaurant and called my mom. And here's the worst part. My mom doesn't care that he did this. She said it's just men being men. I should state that my mother has always had low self-esteem, but I couldn't believe it. I'm her daughter, and she's okay with her man wanting to try and be with me. I still live at home with them, but have just signed a lease on an apartment more than an hour away from them. This whole thing has just been so unsettling. When I move out, I will cease all contact with my mother and Mark. That day can't come soon enough. This story is a warning that you don't really know people as well as you think you do. My stepdad, let's call him Dave, had always been a control freak. I personally never saw what my mom saw in him, but I'm not one to judge. Dave's the kind of guy who wants to know everything about everyone in the house. Mind you, he moved into our house because he foreclosed on his. When I would bring friends over, he would always interrogate me. If I wanted to go out, he'd need my phone location and addresses. And I'm a 19-year-old female, by the way, and I felt like it was so unnecessary. I got home from school one day and come into the living room, only to find my mom crying on the couch. Dave wasn't home yet, as he usually worked later hours. I sat next to my mom and asked her what was wrong. She told me she was cleaning the bathroom and noticed something strange on the light fixtures. She unscrewed it and found a small camera hidden inside it. She started looking around the entire house, and she found cameras in my bedroom and hers. Recently, Dave said he was installing security cameras around the house for protection, but he never mentioned installing them in our bedrooms and bathrooms. My mom had access to Dave's laptop and found the camera's video files on there. The cameras had been installed for a little over a month, and there are videos of me and my boyfriend in my room. I felt so violated. We had family over recently too. There were video files saved of my little cousins who were under 10, using the bathroom. It's honestly horrific, and I can't really describe how violated and sick I felt. We confronted Dave about it, and he had the nerve to claim it was for our safety. How is saving videos of my cousins using the bathroom for our safety? Me and my mom both ended up staying at our aunt's house for our safety. Dave seemed to take it pretty bad that we had found these hidden cameras. My mom was brave enough to take some of the footage over to police because there were underage children recorded in the bathroom. Dave was charged and arrested. He tried to hide his sinister motives under the guise of safety. I'm not saying you can't trust anyone but believe them when they show you who they truly are. I'm still traumatized by this to this day.